What's up guys, Well Customs here, and today we're taking a look at the DC Icons Black Adam figure. Now I'm really excited for this figure because it's one of the first figures from this whole line that's sporting the new bulkier looking body, which I think Superman might be sporting as well. So we'll see how he stands up with the other DC Universe figures and also Marvel Legends. So it looks pretty nice. Take a look at the back right here. We have Flash, Blue Beetle, and Lex Luthor. Pretty nice. I'm still looking for the Flash, but I got Lex Luthor also. But let's open him up right now. Alright guys, sit back, relax, we're going to have a nice discussion about this. So I'm going to start with size comparisons first because I know you guys want to see how they stack up amongst each other right here. Right here we have Black Adam sporting a new bulkier, bigger body. I'm pretty sure that Superman will be sporting this body as well. I can't be positive, but I'm pretty sure. But as you can see, I have other figure lines like the old DC Universe figures, the new DC Unlimited ones. I have figure arts right here as well. And we have some of the other icons. So you can see, like, if you guys watched my Batman review, you guys know what I said is that, like, I'm going to be very selective how I purchase the rest of the figures from this line because I love how, like, smaller figures, like, or smaller characters like Green Lantern or the Flash sport the smaller, skinnier body because when you stand them next to big guys like Superman or Shazam, he's not supposed to be, or they're not supposed to be as big as them. So having this trio right here, I think it looks pretty good, especially if you had Flash right here. It looked perfect in my opinion. You can see how big that the DC Universe figures are compared to the new Icons ones, even someone big as the bigger, bulkier body of Black Adam right here. If I had to be honest, you know, if you're going to collect the DC Icons itself, you have a better time matching them up with SH Figure Arts figures. So you can see Batman and Captain America right here. I think they look pretty good together, especially when you get the new Superman figure that comes out. He'll look good with them in this kind of a body. I just think generally they fit a little bit better and they're around the same kind of size and scale. But overall, like I said, you could mix and match them. Like I said, I'm going to collect Flash. I think he'll look good with these two guys. We're going to take out Shazam right now. I'm going to put in a Marvel Legends figure so you can see how they look as well. But like I said, mixing and matching might be the way to go, or just collecting the whole thing and sporting them with like SH Figure Arts figures might be the way to go as well. But overall, it doesn't look that bad. As you can see, here is Black Adam next to Superman right here. I mean, he is a lot bigger, especially looking at like Batman or even Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is actually bigger than Batman, which is kind of surprising. Maybe it's because he has a suit on, who knows, but you can see how that looks right there, and you can see how much bigger the other DC Universe Black Adam figure is right there. So yeah, you know, this is just to get a good understanding of how they look in size for you guys. So yeah, it really is up to you and preference, but overall it's not that bad if you're just going to mix and match and then have them have it your own way in your own collection, how you want to pose them. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's take a look at Black Adam up close and personal. It's kind of funny because he is kind of sporting the new 52 look of him in this wave. However, all the other figures and all other characters are kind of sporting more classical looks, which I don't understand. But why am I going to complain? He looks pretty good. A lot of detail. I love the new body sculpt, of course, as well. Let's take a look at him up close. The head sculpt is pretty good. No pupils there, but very grimace face on body sculpt. Man, it is bulky, it is muscular, it looks really nice actually. You can see some nice different kind of sculpting over there. Going down, it's a nice gold look. It's a pretty plain body because of all this black and gold, but looks pretty nice overall still. You can see, look at this cape as well in the bottom here, has some nice details. Great paint job overall, I have to admit. Looking at his chest, the Thunderbolt, I'm trying to get in focus. That's really hard to see. There you go. I'm going to bring down the exposure a little bit. There you go. So you can see his chest. He does have kind of a lightning bolt look to it right there. What's nice that it's all rubber, so it doesn't really get in the way of articulation. It's pretty much glued down up to here, and over here's a flap. So when you move his body around, it doesn't get in the way of articulation. It barely does. It doesn't even touch it actually, so you shouldn't have a problem there. But that little design is pretty much permanent overall, so you can't get rid of that unless you paint it all white if you want to, or white and blue and stuff like that. But overall, everything else is pretty cool looking, really nice. I mean, like I said, it's all black body, so it's not a lot of detail. It's pretty much, you look at the gold, but the body itself, the sculpt, man, it is very nice, very big and strong looking. No complaints there at all. The cape is pretty nice too. It's a nice soft cape. It's rubber, but it's really soft, so you shouldn't have a problem with posing him at all, which is pretty nice. He does come with some accessories, so let's take a look at that right now. For accessories, he does come with 3 hands, pairs of hands in total. 1 he's wearing and 2 on the side. So he has closed fist over there. These are open hands right there, kind of like gripping somebody or grabbing somebody open-handed right there. And the other hands are with kind of electricity coming out of it, so you get some nice cool effects out of that one, which is pretty cool. Almost like Electro from Spider-Man, which is kind of funny. It's pretty simple to do that, so you just pop these off, like that, and we'll stick them on. Let's get this one on. So you get a nice cool pose if you want to do that. And we'll get this one off. Well, and then we'll put this on, and you'd be grabbing someone by the throat or something. So that's pretty cool. I really just recommend having, or I prefer having just the fists on, because you can be punching a lot of people, in my opinion. Before I get to size comparisons, I just want to point out his neck, man. Look at that neck. It is muscular and veiny. Kind of has a different tone in skin color though when you get to the base of it, almost more skin, like his head's more pale, and over here is more of a skin tone color. So that's something to point out and notice right there. Now going into articulation, Black Adam does have a ball jointed head. Not that much movement though, doesn't go up at all barely, it goes down just a little bit. Doesn't really rock left and right, but it does turn left and right. His shoulder joints are hinge joints that rotate, which are really good and smooth, which I like. To go up and down, no problems, in and out, no problems. Bicep swivel right here. 2 points at the elbow, which is nice, and at the wrist he has a hinge and a swivel, which is good. He has those standard new DC icons, ball joints at the abs, more like a swivel though. Goes left and right there, doesn't go up and down that much, but he does have a hinge at the waist joint ab area. So you get a little bit of movement, not that much though, surprisingly. I think Batman had a lot better movement and some of the other smaller figures. This goes down just a little bit, but it is still there, at least. Going down to the hips, he doesn't have any waist swivel right there, but you do have at the abs. The hips are on ball joints, so they go up. Let me zoom out a little bit. You go up about that much, which is pretty decent, nice. Go back, barely. Go in and out just a little bit, but he's not going to do any splits, so it's okay. No thigh swivel, 2 points at the knee, which is nice. You got a boot swivel as well, and at the ankle you have a hinge and a pivot, which is awesome. So pretty decent articulation. You know, you don't have the thigh swivel, but you have a nice ankle pivot, which is pretty good. And overall, really pretty good articulation. I'm pretty happy about it. Even how it feels, doesn't feel cheap or it doesn't feel stiff. His shoulders are really loose, but very sturdy and, you know, smooth. That's a good word. So they feel good. I'm really happy about that, because sometimes you get figures with really stiff shoulders that you feel like you're gonna rip the bicep joint out. This feels pretty good. So no arguments or complaints right there. Alright, so my overall impression about this figure is that I think it's really nice and I like it a lot. You know, I love the fact that DC Icons is coming out with bulkier, bigger figures for the bigger characters. They're having a nice variation of different sizes and scales for their different characters, which is really good. It's showing that they are definitely improving and really working hard and dedicated to this line. As for Black Adam himself, I think he looks really nice, very detailed. I'm really happy to get a new updated New 52 look of the figure with really good articulation. You can see him next to this one, you know, very similar, but just updated, more details and stuff like that, obviously from the comic book. But this is still a great figure too. Like I said before, when it comes to scale and size, you know, if you're going to be dedicated to the line, just be dedicated and you won't have a problem. If you want to mix and match and stuff like that, you know, you can always mix and match characters like I'm going to do. SH Figure Arts figures I think is the way to go, because you have a lot of Marvel figures there and some DC figures that look really good with this size of characters. But overall, I think it looks great. I love the new size of this specific mold right here. The legs are huge and thick, very powerful looking figure, which is really great. And overall, you know, it's something you might want to get. Definitely might want to pick it up, because you don't get a lot of Black Adam figures with great articulation. So this might be the way to go if you could find one. So that's about it, guys. I hope this was helpful. And that's about it. So like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to wildlandcustoms.com. If you liked the video, get a thumbs up. Peace.